Yahusha, your name is great. Yahusha, your name is great.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is another episode of LOJ, Line of Judah. And we're continuing where we left off with our study on the sacred names. We're going to start out by prayer, and then we're going to go into our first scripture, which is 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Almighty, we thank you and we praise you. We give your name the glory and the honor for everything that you have done, everything that you're doing, and everything that you're going to do. We plead the blood of Almighty Yahusha over this teaching, and we decree and declare that Elohim get all the glory and all the honor out of this teaching. Amen. 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 We're going to just jump right into it. We're looking at 1 John chapter 4, where it says, Beloved, believe not every spirit. It says, but we need to try the spirits to make sure that the spirits that we are entertaining are indeed of the Most High Elohim. And what we have seen, and I have evidenced through my previous teachings, is that the early conversion of Constantine, which birthed the onset of what we know today of the Roman Catholic Church and the infection into the ecclesia as we know it, as identified by myself and other prophetic and apostolic believers, is what occurred when people didn't test out the spirit. And so now we're in a place where the real ecclesia is trying to come forward, and we're having to learn how to continue to test out every spirit and make sure that what we are experiencing is indeed of the Most High Elohim. Because what we are left with in older times prior to now is a lot of tradition and a lot of lies. A lot of tradition and a lot of lies. We're looking at 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Verse 3 we're beginning with, but I would suggest reading the whole chapter. It says, Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day, speaking of the day of the Lord, will not come unless the falling away comes first. And the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Yahuwah, or that is worships, so that he sits as Yahuwah in the temple of Yahuwah, showing himself that he is the Most High Elohim. If we skip down now to verse 7, it says, For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way. We're now looking at verse 9. The coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, and with all unrighteousness, deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this reason, Yahuwah will send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie, that they all may be condemned, who did not believe the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Why was that chapter I just read so important? I mean, why does it matter? If we get into it, we're talking about the great apostasy. We're talking about the times that we're currently living in and the times that began, as it said in verse 7, the mystery of lawlessness was already working when the Apostle Paul was on the face of the earth. And apostasy had already crept in, and it continued to creep in, and it's in full fruition today. That's why the sacred names matter. That's why real true believers understanding how to root out paganism from biblical belief matters, because the Most High is not returning for apostasy. He's only returning for those who truly obey. So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 is important, because we have to choose to obey, that we not turned over to the strong delusion. Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 23. And I will sanctify my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned in their midst. And the nations shall know that I am Yahuwah, says Yahuwah, when I am hallowed in you before their eyes. Verse 24. For I will take you from among the nations, gather you out of all countries, and bring you into your own land. Verse 25. Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean. I will cleanse you from all your filthiness and from all your idols. 26. I will give you a new heart and put new spirit within you. I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. The previous chapter read in Ezekiel goes right along with the New Testament, Hebrews chapter 8, verse 10. For this is a covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahuwah. I will put my laws in their mind and write them on their hearts, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And notice he says he would put his laws in our mind and in our heart. That's important, y'all. We got to get to the point where we understand that we're not in a lawless belief, but that our belief system is based on the laws of the Most High Elohim. And his laws are written in his book, forever to be contained. Yahusha, the servant which he sent, decreed and declared that not one jot or one tittle of the Most High Elohim, Yahuwah's word, would be disregarded or lost. This video is not really just focusing on the sacred names alone, but what those sacred names represent. In order to be that holy, set-apart people, we have to go back to being Torah observant, meaning that we recognize and understand that the truth unveiled is that Yahusha was nothing but the walking word, and that he fulfilled every word of his Father. It's not about following the Talmud. It's not about following the Kabbalah, because most people think when you say Torah that you're talking about those things. But we're talking about the commandments of the Most High. We're talking about walking just like our Most High example, Yahusha, the Son that was sent. And let me tell you, he abided in his Father's word. He wasn't a pagan. He didn't believe in Jewish mysticism, nor in Babylonian paganism. He believed in the sovereignty of his Father's name. And when his Father said don't, he respected and reverenced the don't. There is, my friends, a great deception going on. Grace is given to us, and yes, we live by grace. But the biggest deception is that there's no standards, and there's no laws, and anything goes, and God just understands. I'm here to combat that lie and to encourage all my brothers and sisters that the commands that Yah set down from the very beginning, he meant. And the reason why the world is in the turmoil it is in today is because Adam and Eve disobeyed. And from there, we see that the Most High kept his promise, which was to turn them over to destruction. Please note and believe that those who are not ready, those who are not prepared, will be turned over to destruction. Just as 2 Thessalonians stated. chapter 2, that the Most High Elohim would turn those over to a strong delusion who choose to ignore and profane his name, meaning what he stands for. I'm not talking about the lettering, y'all. I'm more so speaking to the spirit and what he stands for and what he commands. So I'm going to end this video by encouraging you to continue to study up on the sacred names and on both New Testament and Old Testament commandments. I'm going to encourage you to learn and to discern the times that we're living in. I'm going to encourage you not to be deceived by the Antichrist spirit of lawlessness that's already at work in the land. I pray that this video has been a blessing to you, and I pray that the Most High will find you adorned, being that beautiful bride that he's coming for, and that he will not find you being as the harlot, the great whore in Revelations that he's going to destroy. Shalom, and may the Most High Elohim bless you.